Hello there and welcome to ADcraft. I'm building a massive steampunk city in survival Minecraft. With huge terraforming projects, crazy farms and detailed builds, I'm looking to create an immersive experience and push the boundaries of Minecraft. Today I'm going to be building a huge airship to dominate the skies and expanding the base into an Amethystine Cave. So join me as we head deep into AD's adventure. But first, an update. In between episodes, I've actually been doing quite a lot of off-camera work this time, and the main reason for that has been to try and fill up my base with all of the librarian trades that I didn't have previously. And with these guys in their forever homes, I've got some of the less frequently used but still really useful trades in place here ready to go. I've still got a couple more of the guys over at the villager breeder as well. And once these guys are over in the librarian area, the only things I'll need to get are Smite 5 and Bane of Arthropods, apart from the crossbow enchants, which I'm just simply not going to bother. But whilst I was over here at the villager breeder, I also got myself these guys who are here to help me deal with all of the pumpkins and the melons that I've been creating all the way through the season, and I've got loads and loads of them dotted all over the place as well because I had so many, they were constantly overflowing. So I've built this little area which is under here, and if we go up here, this is the original build, and I've just taken the chests down through into this little area, so I've got a proper sorting system now to split the two things out. And most importantly, I can trade to my heart's desire and get loads of emeralds with these guys who are also going to give me all the golden carrots I can possibly need. So that was a little expansion that I did just through the quality of life because I got so tired of emptying this constantly. And another little quality of life thing that I did was over here at the chicken powered skulk farm, and that's because I left this thing running, and when I came back to it, all of the blocks were all over the place. Basically the pistons had been pushing the blocks up and they'd gone right the way through the floor once it had actually filled up. So I came back and there was a line of blocks that had been pushed up into the pathway, which wasn't ideal. So I've put some immovable objects into the right places, like a chest back there, just to stop everything from getting squashed. And that wasn't everything though. If I show you through here, I have also just built myself a little link through underneath the river into the storage system, so I can just go back and forth at my heart's content. And whilst I was over here, again, another thing that I discovered was that when there was stuff coming into these overflow chests, so anything that doesn't go into the storage system itself comes into these overflow chests, some of it was just genuine overflow where the blocks are going too fast to be picked up by the hoppers themselves. And so through here I've built myself a little refill section, and what this does is it takes the blocks down here and it brings them up through this pipe on the back side of the storage system, and in here where it drops them off into the water stream at the top, ready to loop round all of the storage pods. And the last thing I did off camera was update these maps for the airship dock. So we've now got everything up to and including episode 13 in here, including all of the airships that I built last episode. And it's on airships that we're actually going to continue. So I mentioned last episode that I did have an idea to build a really huge one. So these are pretty big, as you can see by the scale on the map. However, over here, I have a plan to build a truly huge airship. So the first thing that I'm going to need to do for that is to start collecting a whole bunch of resources. And the main one of those resources that I'm going to need is some smooth quartz. Now I've got a fair chunk of it, however I will need some more. Luckily I have got quite a lot of quartz here, so if I take some of these and pop that there through to our smelter, which I'm not sure if I ever showed you guys this, but I have created a little shortcut through to the smelting area. So just go zoop up here, and this, our super smelter, we can just plonk all of the smooth quartz in, or the regular quartz rather. If it was smooth quartz, wouldn't need to do that.
A few moments later.
And voila, we have our smooth quartz. That should now give us everything that we need from a quartz perspective. So we'll pop that back in the storage system for now. Alongside the quartz, I will also need to harvest up some copper, which is brilliant because it gives me an excuse to use probably my favorite machine that I've used or I've built all season, which is the copper aging facility. And it just pops up the copper. The flying machines come all the way along. Not the quickest thing in the world, but it's very satisfying to watch. Pick up all the copper that is now aged, and you can also run this once it's not quite fully aged if you want a mix of other copper types. Gets to the middle, and then the next flying machines come along push it all towards the center, and collect up nicely, ready to be harvested. Beautiful. I don't know quite why all the pistons do that, but they do, and it's fun to watch. So absolutely love this thing. And I've restocked that now as well, and it's already starting to change. Great result. For this build, the other resource that I'm running a little bit low on that I will probably need more of is this crimson stem. So I'm going to now have to head back across to my starter village and get my tree farm working. The problem being that I only have 10 of the crimson and 17 of the warped fungus types. And unlike the other types of tree in this tree farm, which is a brilliant design by ENX04, they replenish whilst you actually use the farm. For the nether woods, you don't actually get that. So I had manually been farming these using these 2 patches of the nylium. However, I'm not with that anymore. I want a more automated solution. So I'm going to clear these out. I'm also going to clear out our old nether wood farm here with all of this bamboo and all this scaffolding rather, and use this space and the resources to come up with something far more automated. And with all of that cleared away, I have got the space that I need, and I'm going to be making a tutorial that I've seen, a design by a YouTuber called Moshuden. So I will, as per usual, make sure to link that in the description. So check that out if you're interested. But now it's time to get building. And the farm's now complete, and as you can see, it's got a timer that pumps the water across to clear out any items. It uses both of the 2 types of nylium, which is great because it means you don't need to change those and you can get all of the items. And if I just click this here, you can see, need to click this side, the note block, that once it gets going, it is super fast as well. There's loads and loads of stuff that's coming off the back of this. So we've got all of the different warped and crimson plants that we could possibly want, and we'll just stop that now because it's been running a bit before. And then every so often it just clears out with the water any of the items that are on here, and they all come down here. And like I say, I've only been running this for a matter of minutes and already have got so much stuff. It's just crazy, and it's got more than enough of these fungi types for me to get to the next stage, which is taking them over to my tree farm itself and getting myself some of the actual stems. Now I have a much healthier amount of crimson stem in the storage system. I still have one slight problem, and that is for this build, a lot of the crimson stem, if not all of them, are all stripped, and it's such a pain having to switch to your axe in order to strip blocks whilst you're building. It really breaks up your flow. So I am going to utilize the space in the airship that we built the last episode, and I am going to build a concrete converter and log stripper. One quick build later, and the machine is now complete, and it only took me 2 minutes to build, so I didn't bother building this on camera, but it is really simple. It's by a YouTuber called Eagle Eye 621, so of course I will pop the link in the description to the video on how to make this. And yeah, basically it does the trick. Now the axe that I'm using is a little bit too powerful because it chops so quickly. It doesn't always strip every log, so sometimes you do have to put them back through the process again. But in terms of what it does, and I've already stripped more than 3 stacks here, it definitely does the trick, and it'll make it so much easier for building. So basically you put the logs in your offhand, you've got a dropper here to give you some more logs, and then you press both the buttons and just lean against this obsidian and just chop away. So this is absolutely perfect for what I need. Like I say, it didn't need anything more complicated, and anything that does escape I can just pop back through the process. With that done, it's time to get prepared for the build. I've now created an absolutely massive dirt platform up in the sky, which is going to be where I'm going to be building the airship. As you can see, it's much higher up here than anything else around here, so this is going to really dominate the skies up here. And it's taken a long time just to put this platform in place, but it's also taken a long time to pull together all the resources. So I've got all of my regular resources and all of the things specifically that I'm going to need here. So in a second it's time to get building, but before that I wanted to show you that I've also managed to, with this big platform, create an incredibly efficient mob farm underneath here, which has just gone absolutely crazy. Just creepers, everything there, because the rest of the area around here is all lit up. So here we are anyway, and it's time to kick off a time lapse. And the Mega Airship is now complete, and I'm super pleased with the result. It is much bigger than the others, and it is powered by this giant rocket at the back, so I've added a rocket trail coming through, and then it is also powered and steered by these 4 huge propellers on the sides of this. And if we come down here, we can see also, I really love the colors, and I'm really pleased that I did actually end up stripping all of this wood beforehand, because doing it whilst I was building would have been a complete pain. Or also you will notice that we've got one of the viewers of the channel here who has been running a bit late and only just managed to catch hold of the airship. Hopefully they will be able to keep hold right the way until it manages to dock somewhere else. And I'm having a look at this at the moment. You might be wondering, through free cam I'm actually checking it out from over here, but if we head back into my body here and try and fly up and get straight in, can we do it? We can smash our face a little bit, but we made it on board. So this gives some brilliant views from up here. We've got some more of the people using the straw statues, some more viewers of the channel all the way around here operating some of the machinery, looking out as well. And in fact, one of them is even taking a bit of a nap back here in the sleeping quarters, which is also the boiler powering the rocket itself. But I do love the view that you get from this. It's great to be able to see all of the things that have been built in the base so far, but also the area that we're going to be able to expand into here. So again, really pleased with how this has gone. If you are interested in joining the viewers here who have their representations in this build and in the other builds around the base, then do let me know in the comments. Come to the Discord and give me your in-game name, and I'll be more than happy to add you in. But now if we head down to the ground, and as I look at the airship up there, if you have enjoyed this build, then do take a moment to hit that like button. Make sure that you leave me a comment to let me know, because I love reading those, and make sure that you're subscribed so you can see the future builds. Now for the next upgrade to the base, and what I am going to be doing is down in this area round here, and I have at the moment got a very Wile E. Coyote and Roadrunner style tunnel that doesn't actually go anywhere. I want to link this up to the other side of the area so that we can start using the space through here. So if I come around, you can see that we've got this lovely cliff that we built, the edge of the cliff and the edge of the cathedral, but no way to actually get to it properly or easily from the base itself. So I'm going to be coming down here, connecting through, coming out somewhere around this area with a tunnel, and I have an idea for a cave as well. So first things first, I'm going to need to dig this out. However, having looked at my supplies, I am getting a bit low on the number of beacons that I get. So first things first, I need to head to the end. And over here I need to get myself some more nether stars, which means some more withers. And whilst I'm here, I may as well also start using my Wither Rose farm. And whilst we're here, I'm running very low on copper, so I'll get some of that as well. 200 levels later and a whole bunch of copper blocks, then I am ready to go back. So through we go. Perfect. Now let's get digging. And after a little bit of tidying up and patching some of the holes that I managed to knock in the ceiling, I've now got the space that I need to create this cave. And it's quite a big area. It's going to come out here. There's also going to be a build in the side of this cliff and another tunnel connecting up from here, because you know me, I like having multiple ways from getting from one place to another. So at the moment, all of the resources that I've dug out are going through the system into the storage area, but I do need to find one more resource out in the world, and that is I need to go and get myself some more calcite. And for that, I need a stony peak. And luckily, I've not needed to head too far. So I've come across maybe 1,500 blocks and managed to find this teeny tiny area. It really is just this chunk here. However, it does have a lovely vein of calcite in here. It's also got quite a chunk of andesite, which is always useful. So I am going to get mining and get back to the base. And with that completely mined away, I've got a good chunk of calcite to add back into the storage system. But I'm going to keep this in this box now and add the other resources that I'm going to need for the build, ready to get everything in the cave completed. My incredibly colourful shulker monster is now in place with all of the resources that I'm going to need for this build. So now to get going in a time lapse. And the cave and the road tunnel through are now complete as we head underneath the cathedral. Unfortunately, it's got a bit grey here, but you'll see that I have added a whole bunch of straw statues into these buildings and just dotted around the place, just to add a bit more life to this area. So this is now looking fully complete. And this tunnel carves through the mountain. It's got its own walkway that goes next to it with some steampunk machinery, and there's plenty of room, as you can see, for this van to bring some goods from the dock area right the way through to the next section of the base. But if we go through this little walkway first of all, and it comes out by the canal down here. So there's a fork in the canal. One bit of it goes this way, another bit's going to head that way in the future. But I have built this fantastic building up here, which has just got a whole bunch of machinery in this giant cog on the front. It goes through with some more conveyors going into the ground, and this comes into here where there's lots of generators and things as well, powering some of the machinery that sits inside this mountain. But before we check out the cave itself, there is something that I do get asked quite often in the comments, and that is around some of the shenanigans that I have going on with my lights here. We have a lantern that's actually being supported by an anvil. Now, this is a little trick that I learned from the Mojang dev Ulraf when I was playing with him on the Legacy SMP, and you can do it in any Minecraft survival world. Certainly in Java. I don't know if Bedrock works. Do let me know in the comments if it does as well, but it's a great little trick. So I'll show you how to build one of these here. So first of all, I will build the basic structure, and for this I'll need to put just a little bit of scaffolding in place. So if we head up here, I can then come up and place these on top of this. We put ourselves a hopper, and then I put a carpet just on top of that. Now this is where the fun and games actually starts working. So you need a block that you can destroy straight away with one punch. And the main blocks that you can do that with are slime that I have here, and also the honey blocks. So by placing 2 slime here, you can then head up and put your anvils on top. So if I come out and jump on here, get my anvils, put one this way and one this way, and this is a little bit fiddly. It sometimes needs a couple of goes. So you've done that. The secret is that if you use a block like this that is replaceable and is instantly destroyable, I'll show you here, just one punch and you can destroy it. You can actually trick the game into not doing an update and into putting something in place. So what you need to do is double click really quickly with both buttons at the same time on your mouse. And this is why I'm not sure it would work on Bedrock unless you're playing Bedrock on PC. But if you do it right, you can actually instantly replace what was in the block with what is in your hand. So this works with buttons, with any gravity blocks basically, and also any hanging blocks that will pop off things. So I'll show you again on this side. You just immediately click like that. I put these in place just in case it doesn't work, because it doesn't work every time, so that the anvil doesn't crack on the floor. But you then take these out the way and pick up your scaffolding, and voila, you have yourself a lovely lamppost design. And like I say, you can do this with carpets, with buttons holding them up, and it's a really, really neat trick. So yeah, that's one that I've been asked a few times in the comments, so I thought I'd show you on camera. But yeah, completely vanilla friendly, even though it looks like total shenanigans. Like, that just shouldn't work, and it's a bit cursed, but it looks fantastic when it's done. But now the main event, which is the cave itself, and I'm really, really pleased with how this Amethystine Cave has worked out. Again, I've decorated it with some straw statues. But as we come through here, we've got this viewing platform and this walkway, and we've got these fantastic geodes that have been opened up into the actual cliff themselves. And these have got the amethystine plants growing inside there. So now that these are here, I do not know what this is going to cause. I've got this viewing platform here, and I've used some of the trapdoors so that you can actually see through as well. You can open these up and get a great view into the cave itself, so you can see all the way around. And there's 3 of these geodes. There's one down here and one over here as well. And yeah, this connects up to the road. And then down here as well, we've got these frosted glass pits. These are just alternating white stained glass and pink stained glass with some light sources at the bottom, and then you get this smoke effect going right the way down. And there's another one just here, you can see it, a small one just down there. But yeah, plenty to explore, which reminds me, the next world download for this will be available after this video to my patrons. So if getting hold of this world is something that you're interested in, do check that out with the link in the description. And yeah, it's available to all tiers of patrons. So if you want to support the channel and get hold of this world, then you can by looking in that description and following that link. But yeah, this is supported from the roof, and this is part of the reason last episode that I needed to set up the skulk farm, because there is, as you can imagine, an awful lot of skulk going on in here. This gives a really, really nice effect with the stars glowing almost in there. And this hangs down from the ceiling, this walkway. We've got also this lovely roadway that goes along and connects through and comes out here, which is going to be the next area for expansion. And one of the other tricks that I'm pretty pleased with is using these pots, these new pots that in the future, thank goodness, are going to stack, because having these individually in your inventory is a bit of a pain. And then using these connected through the lanterns to have support. So you need to actually put the lanterns on the chains to have this connecting. And yeah, I'm just really, really pleased with how this area has come out. It gives a whole lot of atmosphere. I've built a lot of houses and a lot of buildings. This was just something a little bit more organic, a little bit different, just to add to the lore of the area with these amethystine geodes that we've opened up here, but also functionally connecting up from the base that we can see through here. And I've deliberately put this in place to block the sightline, so when you walk through here, everything opens up once you get past that van and you can see into this cave. And yeah, that's everything for this episode. I hope you have enjoyed it. Hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, and leave me a comment. It really helps the channel if you have enjoyed it. And I'll see you all next time on ADCraft.